Hello everyone, welcome to LovegLew Creations, where we create and design for your inspiration. I'm Felicia, and today we have a wonderful creation that we're going to make today. And again, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank y'all so much. And don't forget to, for those that are new, like and subscribe, and let's get started. Let's wreath. So today we're going to make a teardrop swag wreath, and I'm going to show you all of the ingredients for my wreath recipe. And we're going to start with a 24-inch teardrop swag. So shaped like a teardrop, that's why it's called that. But our focal point is a 27-inch finial nutcracker. How cute is that? Let me see if I can get, there you go. So this is what it looks like. We're gonna mount it into the teardrop swag. I got this from Craftex. So it's a 27-inch finial nutcracker. If you go to craftex.biz, you can search it under finial nutcracker. They have several different sizes and colors and so forth. And this little guy is so cute to me, and I thought it would be beautiful to add for a wreath attachment. We're also going to use several types of sprays. I have these beautiful red poinsettias. Got these from Hobby Lobby. These beautiful white snowflake sprays, those also came from Hobby Lobby. These beautiful sprays came from Craftex as well. Some more sprays from Hobby Lobby. And then this flocked spray we're going to use as well, and this came from Craftex also. Okay, and also these are our ribbon options that we're going to be potentially using. So I like this really blue ribbon with the gold snowflakes on it. It goes perfectly with our nutcracker. The red, this is a bold, deep red, which I want to bring out some more of the red that's in the nutcracker. And then there's some white. I want to use this to help lighten up the ribbon itself, and then we may use this gold as well because there's gold on our nutcracker as well. So again, I like to use the ribbon that matches my focal point to help make it stand out even more and bring those colors more vibrantly into the piece. So, all right, let's get ready. Okay, so first things first, we want to go ahead and add these beautiful white crystal flaked sprays. And what I want to do is I want to add them onto the perimeter, or going downwards to have them fall throughout the perimeter of this swag. So just for placement purposes, just to give you an idea of what I'm trying to do. So I want to make sure that they angle down in the shape of the swag, the teardrop swag, to help give that extra element of volume to the swag and make it look a lot bigger than what it is. All right, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do both sides. So, but what I wanted to show you as we get ready to do that is how we're going to put them inside of the swag. All right, so I'm keeping them long deliberately because I really want to have this stem go through the swag. Oops. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the ties of the swag to attach it to. So just grab a tie, 2 ties, and wrap it around. And on top of that, we're also going to glue them in. Okay, so we wrap it around just like that. So it's in there. Make sure it's turned the right way. All right, so it's wrapped in there. Once you get it in there, make sure it's wrapped around really good. All right, so it's in there, okay? And we're gonna continue to do that all the way down the swag. Use our ties, get it wrapped around. And I hope you all can see what I'm doing. And make sure, right before we put in the nutcracker, we're going to make sure this is flat as well. And because we're going to add more picks, it's definitely going to perk up the volume in this and make it look really, really full and pretty. I think the nutcracker itself is just beautiful. It's gonna stand alone, and I picked it specifically because it was so unique looking. I mean, you see our typical nutcrackers all the time, but how cute was that? It's a finial nutcracker, never heard of it. And I thought, wow, how beautiful would that be in a wreath design? And specifically, getting the this teardrop swag will make it fit perfectly because it'll all fall perfectly. I love how it's huge at the top and then it just narrows down at the end. Perfect for this teardrop swag. All right, so let me show you guys how I'm going to glue them in there as well. All right, so, and then I'll do the other side in a few minutes, and we still have some more to add to the end, but we're not done. So basically where the stem is and where it's tied in, just gonna glue it right in that area. That gives it that extra stability and prevents your wreath from falling apart or anything falling out of it. All right, so we'll do the other side and we'll be right back. Okay, I have the sparkly sprays in here, the crystal sprays, and so I put the green mat under it so y'all could see the contrast better, because I know I have a white table so it's hard to see, but now you can see exactly how it looks when it's added to the perimeter of the swag, of the teardrop swag, and it kind of gives it more volume and more width to it as well. So, and also for a teardrop swag, we always decorate from the widest part down. It's not like a typical Christmas tree where the top is skinny and it goes down this way, but I mean, you could be creative. You could use it the other way, but for this particular project, we're going to use it from the wide part down and take it from there. All right, so next we're going to start with our next embellishments. Also, remember, make sure you have a really good glue gun. So I have my glue gun in my description below, so feel free, if you want, you can click on that and order yourself a Gorilla glue gun. This is a really good one that I've been using for a very long time. And I also have my glue sticks mentioned in at the bottom as well. So also keep in mind, I left the bottom open because we're going to add that blue spray. I'm going to have that inserted at the bottom and also at the top. So that's why there's no sprays down here. And I used a total of 10 sprays. I brought 12, so I think this is a good amount for this particular 24-inch teardrop swag. Okay, you guys, so the moment that I have been waiting for, we're ready to add our Nutcracker. Look how cute he is. And so the cool thing about this is his body moves around, so that's kind of odd, but there's really nothing we can do about that. However, when I got this, I was like, how am I going to mount him into our swag, right? So first things first, let me move him out the way. I want to make sure that we have a flattened space in it. So flatten out your swag, make sure it's nice and flat. So he has a nice cozy bed to be in. All right, so this is exciting. When I saw this, you know, when I'm trying to find my inspiration, I always try to find something that's challenging for me. And this one was definitely something that I thought, okay, how am I gonna make this work? So what I thought I could do and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna zip tie him in. And these are 14-inch zip ties. They're pretty long, which is perfect. And we're going to zip tie him to the spine of the swag. And I'm using white zip ties, so some portion of him will be covered up by bows and embellishments, so we won't be able to see it, but even if we do see it, it doesn't stand out as bad. It actually kind of blends in with our design. So here we go. And I think it's so cute. Look at his little, I love his this little drum on his head. It's so cute. And if you go onto Craftex, it's craftex.biz, you'll be able to see all the other ones that they have. They have some really beautiful ones. They had one that was red and white. It was so cute. So, but anyway, I chose this one, and it doesn't have all the traditional Christmas colors in it. So, because they had the red and white, they had the green, they had beautiful ones. So we're gonna go with this one. And so let's go ahead and make it work. So we're going, like I said, we're going to go ahead and zip tie him to the spine of this swag. So, and you want to make sure that you get it in there really nice and tight, because we don't want him moving around. And make sure you position him exactly where you want him. However, if you mess up, you can always cut the zip tie and start again. So there's no reason to freak out. You got him in there wrong, because I know that can happen. Come on, guy. Really zip tie. There you go. All right. And he's very, very light, so that's a plus as well. And one thing I noticed making wreaths is that when you finish a wreath, they're very light, so which is great. I'm glad that most of the materials that are sold for wreath making make it so that they can fit in a wreath or be as light as possible. Anything heavy is definitely not gonna work well. All right, so getting him zip tied in. All right. And keep in mind that your embellishments are going to cover up anything that stands out as far as the zip tie is concerned, but we want to make sure he's in there nice and solid. Turn him around a little bit, get him positioned, and see you can barely see the zip tie. So we're going to do one down at the bottom as well. And I think that should do it for this guy. It's nice and cozy in his pine bed. All right. So we're going to add the ribbon as well. So the ribbon cascading down will be a beautiful touch and help to cover up some of this as well. Come on, zip tie. All right, so look, holding them up, it's not going anywhere. Perfect in there. All right, okay. So here's the back, and I got to cut the stems from the picks. Will cut these off since they're glued in, so they won't be so long. And as you can see, here's where he's zip tied in really good to the stem of our swag. Where's the other one? Oh, here it is right here. And we'll cut these off as well, but I'm not ready to do that. That'll happen at the end. I'm gonna make sure I got everything secure, all the glue dries, and then we'll start snipping and cutting the back. But there he is, he's perfectly in there. And he's not moving. All right, okay, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so what I want to do next is make the bow, and we're also going to have some of the ribbon cascading down the swag, but I want to make the bow, the big bow for the bottom, so it can be a big focal point as well. And again, I'm using my Deluxe Easy Bow Maker. I do have this in my link below for you all if anybody's interested, and it has instruction booklet and everything on how to make all these beautiful bows. Today we're going to do what I like to do, I call the funky bow. So again, the bow maker has the numbers on it for the number of inches that you want your loops, your tails, as well as your loops to be. So we're going to start with a 8-inch tail, and I want to start with the blue ribbon first. Because the ribbon is not the same on both sides, we definitely have to do that twist to make sure. And we're going to start at 6 inches with our first loop, for the blue. All right, so here we go. And we put it in and we twist, and we want to make sure we have this tail this way and 6 inches this way. All right, and we're going to do cat corner. We're going to do 3 loops on each side. Twist it, measure it at 6 inches. And twist it, 6 inches. Okay. All right, just pretty ribbon. All right, one more on each side. Twist it, 6 inches. All right, so now we're gonna make sure that we have the same size tail on this side. So it's gonna be 8 inches. We want it to go this way. So it helps to shape, as you're using the bow maker, it helps you to shape it at the same time too, depending on what type of bow you're making. So again, it will give you instruction booklet within it, and it's really helpful. Although there's a lot of people that you can follow as well that make bows on their tutorials also, so there's all kinds of different bows that you can make. My next color, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the red and white. All right, and for the next one, we're going to do an 8-inch tail as well. And this is not the same on each side. This side, if you can see it, it's more glittery than this side, so this is the one we have to twist also. But I'm gonna start my tail this time on this side, so opposite of these two tails. And we're gonna do 3 loops as well. This time we're gonna make them 5 inches. And I make them smaller as I add more different ribbon, because I want each ribbon to stand out. And if it's smaller than the others, then it definitely, or shorter, the loops are shorter than the others, you'll definitely be able to see all the ribbons and they'll stand out on their own. All right, so 5 inches. And like I always say, some people can make their ribbons by hand without measuring and using the bow maker, but I'm not that person. I like my bow maker. I like everything to be perfect, and that's what it's there for. So don't feel like you're inadequate because you have to use a bow maker. Use it. That's why you got it. That's why they made it. We're not the only ones. I'm not the only one that needs to use it. All right. Okay. So we're almost there. 5 inches. All right, and we're gonna have the tail for this one go the opposite way. And measure it at about 8 inches as well. Okay. So now what I want to do is next we're going to add the red ribbon. I'm just going to do 2 loops on each side at 4 inches. So this will be the last ribbon. I was going to use the gold, but I'm not. I'm not going to use the gold. I'm going to stick with the red, white, and blue. And the blue has the gold in it, so I think that's going to make it stand out enough. 4 inches on each side. 1 on 4. Right there. Twist. Okay, so the red ribbon has, it's velvet on one side and not on the other, and that's why I'm making sure I twist it so we can make sure we get the pretty velvet side showing for the top of our ribbon. All right, and then we want this tail on the opposite side. All right. All right. So slide our tight. Just slide through, but it's okay. Put it tight in the center. Okay, get ready to pull it as tight as you can. Not yet though, because we still have to add the zip tie to the back to secure it onto the wreath. But I want to go ahead and get all the loops spread out. So that they all stand out. Don't be afraid to manhandle your bow a little bit. Get it where you want it. Get it how you want it. We're gonna dovetail the ends, but I wanna go ahead and put a zip tie through the back because this is the one that's gonna be secured onto the wreath. Okay, so now tie it as tight as you can. Oh, all right. Let's dovetail the ends. So you go from bottom to tip to get that dovetail look. That one could have been better. There we go. Fold it right. If you fold it right, you won't do that. Get frayed. There you go. Nice and clean. Okay. Line it up evenly. What's going on with this ribbon today? One of those days. Perfect. Nice and clean. All right. I'm going to zip tie. I'm going to dovetail the rest. But I want to show y'all one other thing that I need to do to this bow to make sure it stands out and it's nice and pretty. So we have the zip tie showing in the center. So I'm going to take some of the white ribbon and cut a piece. All right. And we're going to wrap it around that area. So we'll just take the white ribbon, fold it, make a nice little centerpiece, tie it around, make a knot, cut it, and it's ready to go. And you have a fully complete bow. All right. Trim those pieces so they don't stand out. And there's the front. All right, so let's go ahead and get this ribbon attached to our wreath. All right, so next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and attach our ribbon, our bow, to the swag. All right, so remember I put the zip tie on, so we're going to use that zip tie to secure the bow to the swag, and just find one of the ties, the pine ties of the swag, and zip tie it around it. Alrighty, get that boy in there. Start here. I'm going to put him right here in the corner of his body, right at the end. I think that'll be cute. But we're still going to add some more ribbon. It's not all the ribbon we're going to add to him. Alright. You want to make sure his body shows, because we want to lose the beauty of the nutcracker, of the finial. So there you go. Alright, so next I want to show you all how we're going to bring some of the ribbon down and cascade it across, down the perimeter of the wreath form. All right, so what I've done was I went on ahead and added the ribbon, the tails, or the ribbon to one side of the swag, and so I'm gonna show you how I did that by using the other side. So what I did was I took the blue and gold ribbon, I cut it into 14 inches, I dovetailed each piece. I have 4 on each side. I did the same to the gold ribbon. I'm adding gold this time, even though gold's not in the main bow, but that's okay because there's gold all throughout our beautiful wreath. And I'm gonna attach them using some gold pipe cleaners. Now, these are just plain gold pipe cleaners, and what I did was I just took one long one and I cut it in half. All right, so that's how we're going to attach them. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay them on top of each other. Find our center, okay? Cinch it in the center. Add our pipe cleaner and wrap it around right at the top. Give it a good twist so it's good on there. And so you make your end long. I'm going to fold it out like that. So that way this is the piece that's going to go into your swag. All right, so you find one of the ties. See if y'all can see that. And wrap it around the tie, the pine tie. All right, and to make sure that zip tie is covered up, all I did was I took the pine piece and just laid it on top. And then we're just gonna have it fold out like that. And we're gonna do that again. Take our ribbon, find our center, cinch it in the center. Okay, get our pipe cleaner, wrap it around, give it a good twist. All right, fold it so it fans out like that, and find another point in into the wreath. Find the tie and wrap it. Wrap your pipe cleaner around the tie. Get on there really good so it doesn't come off. Give it some really good wraps around. All right, so it's in there. Push it onto there, and take your pine. And there you go. Okay. So you want to make sure that it fans out like that. I'll do one more, then I'll add the last one. So it's pretty simple. What happened to my gold? All right, one more time. I know y'all got it. I just want to make sure. That's why I try to not put y'all through all the tedious parts of doing the same thing over and over again, because that's what wreath making is too. There's moments where you have to keep repeat till you get your desired look, what you're looking for. All right, fan it out. Take your pipe cleaner, wrap it around one of these pine ties. Okay, make sure it's wrapped good. Fold it over. Let's go this way. There we go. So we do it all the way down, just right from here, not all the way to the bottom, because we're still gonna add some more stuff, some more embellishments there, but just to kind of get it to be full and close to our little guy as possible. All right, I'll do one more, we'll be right back. All right, so the next thing we wanna do is add these beautiful velvet red poinsettias, and we're gonna put them strategically in him. So that they stand out. So we're going to put one on this side, about right there, and to make it even, we'll put one at the top, about right there. All right, and then don't worry about if it's covering up some of your embellish your ribbon, because that's what we have it. Everybody knows that it's going to have all this beautiful ribbon. They're going to be able to see it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our pine ties to tie it in there, and then we're going to glue it as well. All right, so let's start with this one. Really good. All right, so there's a trick I have as well. Sometimes I'll bend the end to help it go in there. There we go. And that's gonna help solidify him. Let me get him tie it in with these pine needle ties, and then we're definitely going to glue this baby in there. Okay. I'm going to do the same with this one, and I'll be right back. All right, so next I am going to glue in my poinsettia. Make sure it's secure. It's wrapped. It's the pine stems. The pine ties are wrapped around the bottom of him, so they don't go anywhere. So I'm going to go through the bottom where I got them wrapped and put some glue there as well. Again, I'm a big stickler on making sure everything is inside and glued as much as possible. Last thing you want is your customer to have an arrangement that's falling apart. So, all right. Okay. So we got the poinsettias on. It's coming along. Can y'all see how he's looking so far? I'm gonna hold him up and we're done and you're gonna be able to see the finished product, but it's looking beautiful. Really, really nice. All right, so next I want to add our red picks as well, just to give it some more volume. So I'm gonna cut these down a little bit. And all of my tools are provided at the bottom of my page here. So if you're interested in what tools I'm using, feel free to go and click on those links. You can get the same tools I'm using. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and position these pieces within my arrangement just to see if that's where I want them to be. And these just add a little bit more volume, texture to this guy, which I always say, just more stuff to look at. Just adds to the design, you know, and it catches people's eye and they're like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's in there. That's in there. So it just kind of gives it just that flavor of a little bit of a whimsical look. These are pretty cool. And I love the deep red in them. And I got these from Hobby Lobby as well. Let's see, let's go ahead and put this bad boy here. All right. And we'll add one down here. Just pull them out a little bit so they can stand out if need be. It's okay to maneuver them as needed. All right, so now that I have them where I want them, I'm gonna go ahead and tie them in and glue them in. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so the next thing I wanna do, and y'all are probably saying, how much more are you gonna add to this thing? We're gonna add, and make sure it's full and embellished, and I still wanna add a bow. I'm probably gonna add a bow at the top, I don't know yet, but what I do want to add is this beautiful flocked pick, right? So this one came from Craftex, and of course my thing is when I buy a pick, I always see how many more picks can I get out of one pick. So this was pretty big. This could have been a focal point for anything, you know, for another type of wreath, or it could have been really pretty to garnish a grapevine. But in this case, we're going to use it for this, and I'm going to cut. There's already cut one off, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 separate picks that I can pull from this to use in my wreath. So I'm gonna cut off separate picks and probably use this for another project. All right, so we have 4. All right, so I want to put 2 at the top, and I'm gonna put 2 at the bottom, and I'm gonna mix in that with the blue, my blue sprays here. Okay, so we'll have 1 spray at the top, 1 spray at the bottom, and then the flop sprays will mingle in with that. And I think that's gonna set it off really pretty and give it a beautiful look. So let's go ahead and do the top. Okay, so we'll use these two. These are the longest. Set these aside. And then I'm going to use the fullest of these two. So this one's the fullest blue. And we're going to cut down the stem on this. This is way too long. All right. All right. So here's what we're going to do. All right. So we want to position these so that they fan out kind of like this, so they're fanning out opposite wise of each other. All right. Okay. All right, so we're gonna position it inside. Just like that. Get it spread out a little bit. And this is just positioning. We haven't glued anything in yet. I just want to make sure we get it in there. Both sides are even. All right. And then our blue spray goes right in the center. Just like that. It'll look like that. Push it in further, both of those, so it's not sticking out too much, but we get the effect of the flock pick as well as the blue pick. We definitely want to spread out the blue pick a little bit. All right, there we go. Okay, now, can y'all see that? How that's gonna look? Alrighty. Keep this out just a little bit more. All right. Okay. Let's bring this one in a little bit more. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay, and we'll get that glued in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you as well what we're going to do for the bottom. All right, so we have this piece for the bottom, and it'll go in, this one's going to go in first. Let's cut this down. This one go on top, just like that. So it kind of fills the bottom as well. And then the blue will stick out at the bottom, just like that. All right, so let me go ahead and get those glued in, and we'll be right back. Okay, and here is the finished product. So you can see every piece that's been applied from the bottom to the top, and I'm gonna hang it up so y'all can see it in its entirety. All right, so here is our finished product. Oh, he looks really cute. It turned out really, really nice. All right, so again, I was inspired by our Nutcracker finial. And don't forget, I have to clean the back of it, definitely cut the stems that are sticking out so it doesn't scratch our customer's door. It'll probably be covered with some felt as well, so that's a tip that I do sometimes to make sure that their door doesn't get marked up from the wreath itself. But how pretty is that, you guys? Thank you for watching my tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for wreathing with me.